I'm sending love all over the world. I'm sending love all over the world. I'm sending love all over the world. I'm sending love. I'm sending peace all over the world. I'm sending peace all over the world. I'm sending peace all over the world. I'm sending peace. I'm sending hope all over the world. I'm sending hope all over the world. I'm sending hope all over the world. I'm sending hope. I'm sending joy, joy, joy all over the world. I'm sending joy, joy, joy all over the world. I'm sending joy all over the world. I'm sending joy. I'm sending strength all over the world. I'm sending strength all over the world. I'm sending strength all over the world. I'm sending strength. It's time to celebrate life all over the world. It's time to celebrate life all over the world. Let's celebrate life all over the world. It's time to celebrate life. So I'm sending love all over the world. I'm sending love all over the world. I'm sending love all over the world. I'm sending love. Good morning, all. Good morning. Okay. In order to help with a new method of recording our service, we request that congregants and participants who are not speaking, performing, or interpreting to please turn cameras off until after service. At that time, all can come on camera to fellowship and share the love. Thank you for your cooperation. Welcome to the Center for Spiritual Living, Greater Baltimore's virtual service. Woo! It's me, I am your host, Tracy Rhymes. Our senior minister, Reverend Dr. Raymont Anderson, is our speaker today. Our musician is Sanahara Amachandra. I like saying that. Serving as today's practitioner who led the pre-service meditation is Sue Monahan. Assisting with making this service open, inviting, and accessible to the deaf community are our sign language interpreters, Faith Moore and Renuka Purimetla. Working behind the scenes, holding things down is Jim Lefter. On behalf of Reverend Dr. Ray, thank you all for your service. Now, at CSLGB, every Sunday is Invite a Friend or Family Member Sunday. Make sure you spread the word and spread the love and invite someone to service. We would love to have them hang out with us. Yes, we would. Yes, we would. All right. Before Sue Monahan grounds us in prayer, let me share this about her. Sue has been part of this teaching since 2004. She has been a practitioner since 2013. Sue believes that we are the point of power in our lives, that our essence is spiritual, and it is good. It is her desire to let Spirit reveal this wonderful truth through her. Sue is committed to CSLGB's vision that we are demonstrating, a world that works for all, one life affirming thought, word, feeling, deed, and one human interaction at a time. We all make a difference in other people's lives. May our light shine for all to see. All right, Sue.
Good morning, CSL Greater Baltimore, and welcome. This is what I know. I know that there is only one. No matter what name I give it, God, Spirit, Yeshua, Muhammad, Buddha, all of these refer to the one eternal, infinite power that created all of life out of itself and called it good. Each one of us is that goodness showing up today to give and to receive the word, this message from Reverend Dr. Raymont Anderson, to know that that word spoken is truth, that it resonates with us, to know that the music resonates with us in, as, and through our soul. It is a grand and glorious day to celebrate this service, to celebrate ourselves and our lives. I'm grateful for being here. I release this, and so it is.
And so it is. Thank you, Sue. All right. The Center for Spiritual Living Greater Baltimore's community honors the world's religions. One tree, many branches. One mountain, many paths. One world, many religions and spiritual traditions. With the lighting of these candles on the first Sunday of each month, we not only honor each person on their select path, but we also bless them and recognize the light, the love, and the life-affirming nature of Spirit as it shows itself in each path, in each practice, and in each person. I have a moment in Black history to share with all of you. Nanny Helen Burroughs was born in Orange, Virginia on May 2nd, 1879. And she made her transition May 20th, 1961. She was an educator, religious leader, and social activist who helped found the Women's Auxiliary of the National Baptist Convention in known as NBC, excuse me. In August 1954, she invited Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. to address the Women's Auxiliary on the vision of the world made new. Miss Burroughs moved to Washington, D.C., where she attended high school in 1883. She worked in Louisville, Kentucky from 1898 to 1909 as a bookkeeper and editorial secretary of the Foreign Mission Board of the NBC. After helping to found the Women's Auxiliary of the NBC, she convinced the group to establish the National Training School for Women and Girls in 1909. She served as president of that institution until her death in 1961. In 1964, the school was renamed the Nanny Helen Burroughs School. And as part of a network of strong Black club women in the first half of the 20th century, Miss Burroughs was active in the National Association of Colored Women, the National Association of Wage Earners, and the Association for the Study of Negro Life and History. A well-known speaker and writer, she was appointed by President Herbert Hoover to chair a special committee on housing for African Americans. She appeared with Carter G. Woodson and Elaine Locke at a meeting of the Association for the Study of Negro Life and History in 1927. And her talk was reported in the Journal of Negro History. By a forceful address, Miss Burroughs emphasized the duty the Negro owes to himself to learn his own story. You can look her up to find out much, much more that she has done. All right. So I have some announcements for you. Are y'all ready? Good. We currently have 3 weekly ongoing ways to study, learn, and discuss. First and third Monday nights, you can hang out with the Sacred Contracts Book Club hosted by Nancy Rosenberg, or swing on down and hang out on Wednesday nights with the Science of Mind textbook exploration group facilitated by Reverend Dr. Ray. Then you have an opportunity to hang out with the Thursday night study group facilitated by practitioner Dr. Ronnie Ellington. The Discovery class is available online. Hey! Contact us at info@cslgreaterbaltimore.org or visit the website for more information on becoming a member of CSLGB. Sign up for the CSLGB newsletter, the YouTube channel, come on, the CSLGB Facebook and Instagram pages, and get more news and information by visiting the website cslgreaterbaltimore.org. And come on, y'all are encouraged to sign up. Great stuff. Beginning on the last Friday of the month, March 26th at 7 p.m., join Robin and Nancy as they host a Zoom movie event. Finding Joe. That's Joseph Campbell's depiction of the hero's journey. There will be an informal discussion following the viewing of the movie. For information to join the viewing and discussion, contact Nancy at partnersinpeace@hotmail.com or give her a buzz 410-356-7600 or contact Robin at 410-654-2372. They would love to have you join them. The CSLGB Ministry of Education has 4 classes. 4. Beginning March 10th, 7 to 8:30 p.m. For 4 weeks, excuse me, there we go. I think I caught up now. There we go. For 4 weeks, it is the 5 invitations facilitated by Reverend Dr. Martha Creek. These 5 invitations show us how to wake up fully to our lives. They can be understood as best practices for anyone coping with loss or navigating any sort of transition or crisis. They guide us toward appreciating life's preciousness. The 5 invitations is a powerful and inspiring exploration of the essential wisdom dying has to impart all of us. Dying has to impart to all of us. Beginning March 16th, 7 to 9 p.m. for 4 weeks, Spiritual Rebel, facilitated by Reverend Sarah Bowen. Chaotic times call for embracing our rebellious sides in service to change. Spiritual Rebel encourages you to clarify the beliefs that are personally meaningful for you. Redefine unhelpful concepts you might be hanging on to engage deeply with spiritual practices, and ask curious questions about your higher purpose. Reverend Sarah is offering 1 free signed copy of the book to anyone who registers prior to March 1st. Hint, hint, still got time. Beginning April 6th, 7 to 9 p.m. for 8 weeks. Exploring Roots of Science of Mind, facilitated by Reverend Dr. Ray. Exploring Roots of the Science of Mind is a transformational course and a fascinating journey through the minds of New Thought luminaries who greatly influenced Ernest Holmes, the founder of religious science. Each luminary provides a different spiritual perspective. We have Foundations of Science of Mind, facilitated by practitioner Dr. Ronnie Ellington. If you are interested in taking the foundations, contact Sue Monahan. Once 4 or more people express a desire, a Saturday class will be scheduled. For the full class descriptions and more information, you are encouraged to visit the website cslgreaterbaltimore.org or cslgreaterbaltimore.com. To find more educational opportunities in ours and other communities we are partnered with. Visit that website, get some good stuff. Would you like to receive a daily text and voicemail from Reverend Dr. Ray and hear that voice? If so, here's what you do. Get your phone. Type join to 833 663 9021 to begin receiving your daily inspirations. There's also a service that you can subscribe to receive weekly words of wisdom. Each week, CSLGB's spiritual leadership team will send you words of inspiration, contemplation, meditation, and more. To start receiving, visit our website, cslgreaterbaltimore.org. All right, y'all ready? For those of you who are serving with us today, visiting us today, hanging out with us today, on the count of three, we all yell out prayer works. Ready? One, two, three. Prayer works. Woo! Yeah, we like that. We, as a community, continue to treat and move our feet, knowing the truth for everyone around the planet. Prayer requests can be sent at any time via email to info@cslgreaterbaltimore.org. Take a breath. Okay, Usui, Reiki master and sound healer Sanahara Ama Chandra has a lifelong relationship with sound. From her roots in Southern gospel and 90s R&B to her journeys through world music, neo soul, jazz, and songwriting, her heart and soul have shared the healing power of sound. She has released 5 projects and collaborated globally on an extensive catalog of projects. On her path of seeking, she has acquired many skills and experiences and brings to sound healing an embodied expression of emotional healed trauma and unconditional love. Currently, she is offering daily sound healing meditations on her Facebook page, Clubhouse, and YouTube channel. At youtube.com, user Amachandra, as a way to offer healing and guidance during this time of deep transition. For upcoming events and scheduling, please visit amachandra.com.
So grateful to be here with everyone today. We are on this last day of February, and wow, they say that you can really get a sense of how the year is going to move by how the beginning of it tends to pick up. And I know our pass by. And I know that for my friends who are in the cold, it might not be moving as fast as you like. However, I totally see that February 28th is here and January 1st seems like it was just yesterday. So I am so honored to, as usual, have the opportunity to share space with you and offer sacred sound. I pray that this offering of redemption song, redemption song, as a part of our journey into deeper, greater freedoms, expansive freedoms, resonates with your heart. And I thank you. Oh, pirate ships, they sold I to the merchant ships. Minutes after they took I from the bottomless pits, but my hands were made strong from the hands of the Almighty. Let's move forward in this generation triumphantly. Won't you help me sing these songs of freedom? That's all I ever had. Redemption songs, these songs of freedom. That's all I ever had. Redemption songs. Emancipate yourself from mental slavery. None but ourselves can free our minds. Move up, have no fear for atomic energy, 'cause none of them can stop the time. How long shall they kill our prophets while we stand aside and look? Ooh, some say it's just a part of it. We've got to fulfill the book. Won't you help me sing these songs of freedom? That's all I ever have. Redemption songs, these songs of freedom. So won't you help me sing these songs of freedom? It's all I ever had. Redemption songs, these songs of freedom.
Ooh, that was beautiful. Thank you. All right. So, Sue will now lead us in a spiritual practice.
Good morning. I invite you to get comfortable where you are, just kind of melting into the space, breathing in, using your breath to calm your body, to calm your mind, and just breathing in the goodness that is life. I came across this poem the other day, and I wanted to read it as part of the spiritual practice. It's called Laughter, and it comes from the book I Heard God Laughing, Poems of Hope and Joy, renderings of Hafez by Daniel Ladinsky. What is laughter? What is laughter? It is God waking up, Oh, it is God waking up. It is the sun poking its sweet head out from behind a cloud you have been carrying too long, veiling your eyes and heart. It is light breaking ground for a giant structure that is your real body, called truth. It is happiness applauding itself and then taking flight to embrace everyone and everything in this world. Laughter is the pole star held in the sky by our beloved, who eternally says, yes, dear ones, come this way. Come this way toward me and love. Come with your tender mouths moving and your beautiful tongues conducting songs, and with your movements, your magic movements of hands and feet and glands and cells dancing. Know that to God's eye, all movement is a wondrous language, and music, such exquisite, wild music. Oh, what is laughter, Hafez? What is this precious love and laughter budding in our hearts? It is the glorious sound of a soul waking up. Just breathing in for a moment, centered and grounded, knowing that we are what God is, that which we call power and source is what we are. It is in, as, and through us and with us because it is us. We are the love and the laughter of the divine, and it is good. It is so good. Being grateful for coming together today in this place, in this space of opening our hearts and our minds and joyously receiving this message, joyously receiving love and laughter and beauty and joy, because it is what we are. Releasing this treatment into the law, knowing that it is done unto us as we believe. And we know it's the highest and best for ourselves, for our center, for our community, and for our world. It is all good. All is well with my soul. And so it is.
And so it is. And we love laughter, especially here. All right. I am honored to welcome our speaker. Woo! He is newly ordained. Whoa, oh, 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 woo! Okay, calm down, calm down. Okay. He is newly ordained, I had to say it twice. Senior Minister, Center for Spiritual Living, Greater Baltimore, Reverend Dr. Raymont Anderson. He has frequently been referred to as a Renaissance man. One look at his resume and the reason becomes clear. As a lifelong learner with a passion for self-development, personal transformation, transmutation, and self-awakening, he lives his bliss as a teacher, mentor, speaker, minister, and so much more. His mission is to live, move, and be an active, which is an acronym, authentic, compassionate, transparent, inspired, vibrant, and empowered member of society who serves to educate, elucidate, emancipate, awaken and empower people and communities. Come on, Reverend Dr. Ordained Reverend Rev. Woo!
Thank you very much, Tracy.
You're very welcome.
So good morning, everybody. Thank you all who are serving. Thank you, Frank and Jim. Thank you, Amashandra. Thank you, Sue. Thank you, everyone in this beloved community. Thank you, new folks who this may be your first time with us. Thank you all for showing up as we venture down this path today, which is specifically regarding the journey to freedom. Right? So if you were here just a little bit earlier, then you heard Amashandra sing this amazing song regarding emancipation, mental emancipation, and redeeming ourselves into this whole new sphere of what it means to live free. So today, Journey to Freedom, a complete emancipation from every discord of every nature is experienced more readily when we live from the consciousness that spirit is freedom itself. And so we embody that and begin to live from and as that very freedom. As we live, move, and have our beingness as freedom, we are emancipated from discord, and we become the catalysts, the change agents, the divine disruptors that alchemizes others to realize emancipation in their lives. We are the ones we've been waiting for. And the journey to freedom is about embodying and living the truth of love, unity, and freedom. Yeah, so take a breath, breathe, and laugh into the moment. Like with ease and grace. Emma Curtis Hopkins says, he did not seem to know that it was as necessary to free himself from prejudice as from the belief in matter. Okay, so pause and take that in. Because what I hear her saying is matter, the condition, the external thing that shows up. Someone didn't understand that this mental concept of prejudice and this lived experience, maybe illness or dis-ease, that they are requiring the same level of healing. So in other words, just because you think a thing doesn't make it different than when you feel or experience a thing. Pause and take that in, because anyone who received yesterday's text message, I believe it was yesterday's text message, the idea was, or maybe it's today's, ha ha ha, I don't remember. It might be today's. The idea that, stop laughing at me, Tracy, the idea that, because Jesus said, and this is gender specific, Jesus said, dude, check this out. If you lust after that woman, right, in your mind, in your heart, then you have already committed adultery. And in the Buddha Dharma, the idea is the same. So it says, do not harm, do not cause harm to anyone, do not kill. But if you think harm towards another, you think about opening a can on somebody, you just thought about it, then in essence, you've done it. So she is pointing out that the idea, the thought form of prejudice and the thought form that manifests as illness or disease are cured in the same space. Science of Mind says there is a tendency on the part of all of us to reproduce the accumulated experiences of the human race. So we tend toward the habitual nature of mass consciousness to just do what's always been done. That's how things have been. And I'm gonna just keep on doing it. We get stuck in the habit of race consciousness, meaning collective consciousness. So if we believe that things, maybe we believe that being out in the cold is what gives you a cold. Well, because Tracy just raised her hand. So if that's the subjective experience of the human race, The human race believes that, well, that's what my grandmother taught me. That's what my mom and dad taught me. That's what my 5th grade teacher taught me. So I'm going to keep on perpetuating the same idea. There is a tendency to continue along that path. But if we're going to be free, if we're going to be emancipated, then we must break the pattern. We must surrender that tendency in order to step into a new way of being, into a new way of showing up, into a new way of thinking, so that there is a new, remember, we say we are not bound by precedent, but we are bound by principle. So what does principle say about what we choose to believe and how we choose to live? Especially when we're talking about this thing, freedom. So what is freedom? Because we throw the word around a lot. Freedom, freedom, free this, free that, free other, free, free, free. So we talk about being free from something, being free to something. Then there's spiritual freedom, emotional freedom, blah, blah, blah. There's all kinds of freedoms. But how often do we really sit down and really breathe and contemplate when we use this word, what are we saying? Especially in this teaching, because if we're going to say freedom, the complete and total emancipation, freedom from all discord, well, what are we saying? Because if I am freed from illness or disease, then it means I am free to live whole, perfect, and complete. But if we don't really sit and anchor and marinate on and step into what it means to be free, which ultimately what we are doing is being freedom itself, because that which God is cannot be bound, cannot be prisoner, cannot be compartmentalized. So God has nothing to be freed from. God is freedom itself. So what is freedom when we're referring to God? The ever expanding consciousness. There is nothing that limits or binds or borders the consciousness of creation. It is free to be what it is as love, as light, laughter, joy, all of the goodness. If we're going to be this and embody it and live this, then there is one really big thing we must reconcile. And in order to do that, let's go to Nina Simone, who says, I'll tell you what freedom is to me, no fear. Freedom is no fear, because think about it. Fear is what causes us to worry. Fear is what causes us to be anxious. And I'm not talking about the anxiety, the kind of anxious, the kinetic energy and frenetic energy of, oh, it's Christmas Eve. I got gifts in the morning and I can't wait to wake up and open gifts. I'm not talking about that kind of anxiety. I'm talking about the anxiety of, oh my goodness, I got a doctor appointment tomorrow. What if they tell me X, Y, Z? Oh my goodness, what if I deliver this speech and I mess up? That kind of anxiety, that's fear-based. The fear of abandonment and loneliness. Fear. So if we're going to be free, then we have to get to the part of, well, let's reconcile what fear is. What does fear mean? We have to move through it. Now, keep in mind, remember what I said earlier about this tendency to continue to stay in what mass consciousness says? Well, for those of us who were raised in a Judeo-Christian background, you may remember Proverbs 9:10, which said, fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom. We were encouraged to be afraid of God. And it specifically says fear. It doesn't say respect for. Honoring the Lord is the beginning of wisdom. It says the fear of. Now, why? Because God might turn you to a pillar of salt. God might bring plagues and locusts upon your house and family. God might smite you. God may do, Tracy's like, oh, we just said smite at the same time. You should have saw the look on her face. Her eyes got really big. But we were taught to fear God. But we have the fear of failure and success, fear of being alone, fear of death, fear of fill in the blank, all manner of fear that we must, but see, we don't like to reconcile with it because it means we have to address it. We have to look at it face on, stand at it and call it for what it is. And to stand there and look at it is fear, fearfulness rises up. It's like watching The Exorcist and you see the priest facing the possessed woman, child, and they're like, oh, and you're like, oh, I'm glad that's not me because I'd be scared. I'm terrified just watching this. Tracy, come here. Tracy's like, nope, I'm scared myself. No. We're terrified of even watching a movie where people are facing fear and evil. And it's imagined. So imagine what it's like when we are addressing and facing the fears within our own lives. But if we're going to truly be free, then we must listen to Marcia Sinitar, who says, we choose in a wholesome direction despite feelings of fear or our need to cling to the familiar. We choose in a wholesome direction, even though there is fear, even though there is a tendency to keep the status quo alive, even though that's there, we still choose to move in a wholesome direction. Ernest Holmes says, we have been imposing bondage upon our experience by the same law which could easily produce freedom. The same law just as easily produces freedom, just as easily produces bondage. So which are we going to choose? It's the same law of mind and action. Which are we going to choose to demonstrate and embody? Freedom or emancipation? No, sorry, freedom is emancipation. Freedom and emancipation or enslavement and terrorism and othering and oppression. Like which one are we going to yield into, step into? Which one is the more wholesome direction? Freedom and emancipation or lack, scarcity, enslavement? Enslavement to what a former Christian minister taught us, enslavement to what mom and dad may have done to us, enslavement to even the fear of what our body may do as it aches and pains. Fear of, is that the wholesome path? Or is it redeeming and reconciling and stepping to a place of at-one-ment where we know and understand who and what we are? The laws of nature are always just because they are inexorable laws of cause and effect. Karma. Cause and effect. They are always moving as such. Cause and effect. Karma. We don't refer to, in our teaching, we don't refer to karma as, that cosmic bank account where what you did in a former lifetime is following you into this lifetime. If you were a bad person before, then you have karma to burn off. In this teaching, we don't see karma as that. Karma is cause and effect. It is reaping and sowing. It is recognizing that what is above and below are the same. It is the forever interplay of this. Ernest Holmes also says, breathe. All life, all health, all peace, and all possibility, doesn't say some. So breathe this in. All life, health, peace, and possibility exist in this power. It is a knowledge of this, and the conscious use of this knowledge, which will give freedom. Our loneliness, our sense of isolation, our poverty, doubt, and sickness are the results of being disconnected. And ultimately, keep in mind, breathe. Keep in mind, you cannot be disconnected from this power, because to be disconnected from this power would mean there is you and there is God as two separate things. So ultimately, we can never be disconnected, but our awareness can be disconnected. We can be aware of the sickness, doubt, and poverty in a way where we are not being aware of our truth. are results of being disconnected from the fullness of this divine self, which I add on, this divine self, which is incarnating itself as each and every one of us. When we consciously use this knowledge and this power, then we change these effects. So now listen here. Because my thing has been, and this is where we're moving, is how do we find people where they are who believe in their poverty, who believe in their sickness, and who believe in this thing that they doubt to such a degree that they are demonstrating their unawareness of the truth of their being, wherever they are. I don't care if they're in what we call the ghettos, the slums, the bad neighborhoods, the whatever we call them. Those people who experience homelessness, addiction, fear, loneliness, othering, abandonment. There is a whole slew of LGBTQ youth who have been kicked out of their homes, who have gone to New York City, who are homeless, living on the streets, doing what they need to do to survive. Then imagine if they were given the opportunity to embody this teaching, to recognize the truth of their being. Then they would no longer need to see themselves as the victims of. That regardless of what their parents or families did in denying them, they recognize that the truth of their being cannot be denied because it's God. And God, recognizing itself, is beyond denial. That they then step into their power and full pride of being God expressing as them. Imagine what this does for people of all races, colors, creeds, ethnicities, of all socioeconomic backgrounds, when they recognize and have this teaching as an opportunity to know, to redeem, to reconcile, and to step into what it means to have access to the full power and potentiality of their being. In The Science of Mind, Ernest Holmes says, that person whose thought is the most godlike, that is the truest, is the highest, is the most noble, is the most complete, the most peaceful, that person will be the best healer. That person will be the best light worker. That person will be the best demonstration of God in the flesh that they possibly can be, to such a degree that their very presence changes those around them, because they know and they live and they move and have their being in this truth, in this completeness and this wholeness. And like a cologne or perfume that radiates off of them, the very aura that they give off changes those whom they come in contact with. But we have work to do if we're going to do that. And some of that work is understanding, as Sean Covey said in The 7 Habits of Highly Effective Teens. I don't care if they're teens or not. We teenagers today, because we become what we repeatedly do. So if we look at what we repeatedly do, what is it showing that we have become and are continuing to become? If we continue to do this, put things off, procrastinate, sit around and wish rather than work, what is it that we are becoming in doing this? Habit and routine. The main difference between habit and routine is that habit is a recurrent with little or no conscious thought, whereas routine requires a higher degree of intention and effort. Okay, so you got that. That's the main difference. Habit, very little thought. You just do it. So that's why you can tie your shoes and do something else, have a conversation, because tying your shoes is a habit now. You know how to do it. That's why you can drive and drink tea and eat a sandwich. That's Tracy while she's driving, all at the same time, and having a conversation while picking sleep out of her eyes, all at the same time. I don't know how she does that, but she brings her left foot up to pick whatever. That's a habit because she's grown accustomed to being able to do it with little or no conscious thought. But a routine takes more. A routine is putting it on your calendar and saying, every Monday, this is what I do. Every Tuesday, my routine is spiritual practice at 5 a.m. or what. Like there's a routine to doing something. The routine, we have a routine for service. It starts with a pre-service meditation. Then there's the pre-service music, the pre-service gift that the musician offers us. Then we move into like, there's a routine to it. However, the difference between routine and ritual is the attitude that is behind the action. While routines can be actions that just need to be done, there's the routine of washing dishes, etc., such as making your bed or taking a shower. It's a routine. You know, I shave twice a week because that's my routine. If I don't, then it itches and it bothers me and I'm grumpy. So I tend to, hey, it's my service right now. So I shave either Saturday night or Sunday morning, and I shave Wednesday. That's my routine, right? So making your bed, taking a shower. Whereas rituals are viewed as more meaningful practices that have a real sense of purpose. So like my ritual for when I'm doing my spiritual practice in my office downstairs is I light a candle and I light some incense. I turn on some music, I breathe, and then I move into whatever the meditation or spiritual practice is going to be. That's my ritual. If there's something that I forgot to do, it's like, oh, the vibe is off. So then I backtrack, recalculate, and start again. So it's important for us to be mindful that if you want to keep getting what you are getting, then keep doing what you're doing. But if you want to change it, you want something to be higher vibratory, higher demonstration, higher manifestation, then we must change the cause in order to change the effect. And all cause starts with thought. It starts in consciousness, where we think and where we feel. That's where it all starts. That's where the sowing begins. We are sowing into the law of mind and action with every thought and feeling. And the more we do this, the more we are laying the groundwork that then creates the effect, the condition, the demonstration. Your beliefs become your thoughts, which I actually think it's the opposite. Your thoughts become your beliefs. But we'll go with this anonymous person. Who is anonymous anyway? I don't know who that person is. Tracy said it's her. Tracy should flip this then. You should flip this. You wrote it wrong. Your beliefs, your thoughts become your beliefs. Your beliefs then become your words. Your words become your actions. Your actions become your habits, your routines, etc. And those become what you value, and what you value becomes your destiny. Just marinate on that. What does that mean for you as you journey, as you step into what it means to embody freedom and live it? Ernest Holmes says, we should always ask ourselves if what we desire to produce, if what we desire produces harmony. Yeah, I'm not doing the wish thing. We should always ask ourselves if what we desire is producing harmony. Is it producing harmony? I desire for the manager at my job to slip and fall because I don't like what she said to me last week. That's not producing harmony, right? That's discord. And if that's what I am embodying in my thoughts and my heart, then that's what I'm going to create. So ask ourselves, this thing that I desire, new job, new romance, new building, new whatever, health and well-being, retire, is it producing harmony? And then be sure to ask, in this thing, is it harming anyone? If not, keep on keeping on. But because now this is where it gets a little tricky, because sometimes what we desire is coming from a place of competition. I want my company to outsell their company. I want my center to have more members than their center. I want us to have more money and more. Well, then that's competition. And if it's competition, then ultimately it's harming. Somewhere in consciousness, there's the idea that I want to be above them. I want us to do better than them. I want my football team to be better than their football team. I want them to lose. They deserve to lose. That's harm. Now, if it's quote unquote friendly competition where you can play chess and it's all good, then it's all good. But you have to be willing to reconcile and sit with that and truly ask yourself, is that where I'm coming from? Or am I coming from a place of me versus them? Eckhart Tolle says, the moment you become aware of the ego that is showing up in you, it is strictly speaking no longer the ego, but simply just an old, conditioned mind pattern. So let's go back to the tendency to continue to replicate what we replicate, the consciousness to keep on doing same old, that it becomes a conditioned pattern of mind. The moment you identify it. Ego implies unawareness. Awareness and ego cannot coexist in the same moment at the same time. So the moment you spot whatever it is, this is competition, me versus them, me wanting to be better than them. That's ego. I spotted it. It's ego. Now I am aware. Now I am able to consciously shift this conditioned mind pattern of othering and versus and being better or above. I'm now able to shift it because I'm aware of it. Breathe. Because this is a lot. I'm already sure. Dr. Ronnie is like, man, if you don't quit with you realize this Thursday, we only gonna get through 3 of these slides, man. What you doing? Giving me too much for the study group.
Is that how she sounds?
In my mind, when she's fussing at me, yes.
Okay.
Because in my mind, I imagine her fussing at me pretty often with these slides, but we're not gonna go there because I'm sure she's on and she's probably shaking her head at me right now. So let us move on. This week's practice. What do each of these, getting ready to come up in blue, what do each of these mean to me and how do I demonstrate them in the world? From the CSL Global Vision, we envision a world where each and every person has enough food, a home, and a sense of belonging. A world of peace and harmony, enfranchisement and justice, and I would add equity. What does this mean to me? It's the vision of our parent organization, which means it is also partly the vision of CSL Greater Baltimore. Every person, each and every person has and is able to participate in this. What does that mean to me? Who do I have to become in order to make this a lived reality? And then from our Declaration of Principles, written by Holmes in 1927, we believe in the unity of all life, and that the highest God and the innermost God is one God. We believe that God is personal to all who feel this indwelling presence. And I could easily tack on, we believe in the complete and total emancipation of that's the ultimate goal of life. The ultimate goal of life is a complete, total emancipation from all discord of every nature. And that this goal is sure to be attained by all. What does this mean to me? And then this week, make a list of some of your daily or weekly habits, your routines and your rituals. Tracy's shaking her head. No, Tracy don't ever do this. None of these. Tracy doesn't do any of them.
Really?
No, I'm messing with you.
I do them sometimes.
And then, hey, my service. No, but seriously, make a list of these things and then rate them as being enhancing or detracting from how you desire to show up. So just say, this is one of my habits. Every day after work, I stop off at Krispy Kreme Donuts and get 3 dozen donuts.
Ouch.
Is that enhancing who I want to show up in the world as, or is it taking away from who I want to be in the world as? Is it benefiting, or is it taking away from? And then lastly, have a conversation with dos personas about any fears that you may have and what it would mean for you to be free from those fears and what you are doing to emancipate yourself from them. So simply identify something that, something that brings you angst, anxiety, and worry, something that you're afraid of. And then talk to the person about, like, what am I doing to help move through this so that I am free from this fear? And we breathe as we prepare for our declaration for this week. This week's affirmation, I will read it first and then together. Love is freedom, and it acts through me and as me. And the law of love frees us all. Together, love is freedom, and it acts through me and as me. And the law of love frees us all. And we breathe in preparation of someone that, for me, definitely embodies this idea of being free, being her magnificent and marvelous self, being free. Ever since I first met her, like this aura of joy and power and presence radiates from her. Ultimate freedom in expression. Together, let us put our hands together and welcome Amachandra.
Such a timely sermon, Reverend Ray. I am already knowing I'm going to have to take the time to let all of that just continue to wash over me, because it's right on time for where I am right now, so that I can let go of some things. So today's offering is actually a song titled Let Go. And it's a song that I wrote a long time ago. And I pray that it is an offering to support you all in allowing this message to soak in a little bit deeper into the soul of your bodies. So with that being said, give thanks and praises. I am enough. I have enough. I do enough. I let go. I am enough. I do enough. I have enough. I let go. I am enough. I do enough. I have enough. I let go. I am enough. I do enough. I have enough. I let go. Let go. Oh, oh, let go. Oh, you are enough. You do enough. You have enough. Let go. You are enough. You do enough. You have enough. Let go. You are enough. You do enough. You have enough. Let go. You are enough. You do enough. You have enough. Let go. do enough. We have enough, let go. We are enough. We do enough. We have enough, let go. We are enough. We do enough. We have enough, let go. We are enough. We do enough. We have enough, let go. Let go. Ooh, let go. Oh, I am enough. I do enough. I have enough. I let go. I am enough. I do enough. I have enough. I let go. I am enough. I do enough. I have enough. I let go. I am enough. I do enough. I have enough. I let go. Let go. Let go. Let go. Yeah, let go. Oh, let it go. Thank you.
Tracy, I'm on. I'm on now, Tracy. Tracy, I'm on. I'm on. I'm on. So I can love up on Amachandra right now. I can let her know how much I love and appreciate her. Yes. Yes. So now breathe that in. Breathe that in. Breathe in what she just gifted us with. Let it go. If it doesn't serve us, let it go. And that's not just because we compartmentalize. Keep that in mind. We make it like it's those people or that political idea or that whatever. If the memory of my being traumatized as a child does not serve me where I am right here and right now, then I need to let go of that memory the way that it has or might have affected me or might continue to trigger or re-traumatize me, right? Let it go. It's a memory. In the same way that I mess with Tracy and say, you know, because Tracy,
Okay.
Tracy likes to hold grudges. And I told her, holding a grudge is like putting in a paper bag and you carry it around with you. And every time you think of that person that you're holding a grudge, you open the bag and you take a whiff. That stinks. Well, why do you keep carrying it and holding it and bringing it back up? Let it go. Let the wind dissipate it and take it away. Let it go. Release and surrender. But that means we have to be real mindful and honest with ourselves about what we're thinking, what we're believing, what we're doing, and who's around us to know if it or they or that idea or that thought, that belief, that feeling needs to be let go. So at this moment, and keep in mind that when we let go, what we are doing is making the space for more and more goodness to fill it. Take that in. When we release a relationship, we're making space for more beautiful and empowering relationships to step in. Keep that in mind. So at this point in service, we honor and respect and participate in the law of circulation that we refer to as conscious giving or tithing. There are 3 ways that one can do this: PayPal, text to give, through the postal service. Yeah, I was speaking in tongues there for a second. Fifi will appreciate that. So postal. I'm sure Fifi's laughing at me right now. Or through the postal mail. You may also designate a certain portion of your tithe or conscious giving to, say, hospitality, emergency care, music, etc. And in case you did not know, you can also pledge. You can state that you are pledging an amount of whatever so that the Board of Trustees are able to do what we're doing with everything that's offered in order to move CSL Greater Baltimore into its greater yet to be, right? So when we know what finances we have use of for the lights, when we have a new building, for chairs and a sound system and rooms for youth ministry, et cetera, when we know what monies we have, we know what we can then financially and fiscally demonstrate and manifest. So simply we are asking that everyone in your own way participate in this thing called the law of circulation, the law of tithing, the law of sowing and reaping. Our prosperity declaration. Together, Tracy was like, can I stand up now? Yes, Tracy, you may stand up.
You're putting all my business in the street today.
Of course I'm putting all your business in the street because yes, I love you. Okay, so together, it's Sue's fault. Sue said about laughter, and so she hit my funny bone. So
why are you so close to the mic?
Because I want to make sure everybody can hear me. Okay, so together, prosperity declaration. I joyfully, consciously, and gratefully participate in the law of circulation. I trust in the spiritual principle that says, as I sow into my beloved community, I demonstrate my awareness of standing not only in the flow, but as the flow itself. As I sow of myself, my time, my treasure, my talent, I demonstrate my support and engagement in my community's vision, mission, and purpose. I actively give as a demonstration of manifesting, of reaping the harvest of a world that works for all. Ooh, yes, delicious and amazing and awesome. Like, it's awesome to be able to be with you folks. Like right now, we're in this experience called pandemic, where there is physical distancing, and yet we are still able to be socially connected and engaged with one another because of the amazing technology afforded to us. And each week we are learning more and more about recording differently so that things are accessible to the deaf community. Like we're just more and more and more demonstrating what spirit is as this ever expanding consciousness, ever expanding creativity, ever expanding love, joy, harmony, freedom, and awesomeness. So as Tracy said, be awesome today. Just be it, and then let it do what it do through you.
Let it do what it do through you.
Not sure why she felt the need to sing, but
I
feel like we're in the Partridge Family now. So no, that's enough. So at this moment, I would like to invite us to recognize that Sue is available for prayer after service, which is in about a minute. And I don't know if there are other practitioners also available, but if you type into the chat box prayer, Tracy will put you in a breakout room for prayer, one-on-one prayer session with a practitioner. If you aren't able to stay on, but you would still like a practitioner to reach out, send an email, and we will make sure that a practitioner contacts you to set up prayer. If you don't really want them to, show up on Zoom and pray with you or on the phone, but you still want prayer, same thing. Send an email, state what the prayer is, and then it's shared with the prac corps, and everyone prays regarding knowing your truth and your highest and best. So keep in mind, there are a variety of ways that you can get prayer, and prayer is not just for when things are not going so very good for you. Prayer is also for, you know what, I'm feeling really good today. I'm happy. I want more of this. Like I want this to flow into my Monday. You can get prayer for good and more good, the greatness that you're feeling, the awesomeness to continue. Like you can pray for that too. Keep that in mind. And at this time, let us anchor in for our closing benediction, simply knowing that that which God is as freedom itself is incarnating itself in, through, and as all that we are. That means ultimately, the truth of our being is we are already free. Every man, woman, child, gender, rich individual, our siblings beyond gender, everything and everyone is free. And those who do not recognize or know it, those who are not currently experiencing it, we do what we need to do. Hitting the streets running, bringing this teaching, this philosophy, showing up as the magnificence of God personified as us, so that each and every being, each and every incarnation of God is given the full opportunity to know their freedom, to live that freedom, to be fed, to be clothed, to be housed, to have justice and equity, to know the divine truth of their being. That's why we're here. That's what it means to demonstrate a world that works for all. One person at a time, one thought at a time, one word of encouragement and laughter and joy at a time, sending these ripples out. That is why we're here, to love up on each other, to redeem one another, to simply be God, individually and collectively. That is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, surrendered in gratitude into the law of mind in action. Therefore, this prayer is already answered and it's already done. And therefore we say, and so it is.
And so it is.
Namaste and blessings, everyone. Much love and appreciation. Don't forget to type in the chat box prayer. Other than that, we will see you.
Hold on, keep the cameras off.
We will see you soon. Tracy's going to turn folks and stuff on. Love y'all.